Alright, it's spooky season, so it's time to start talking about the Fly movies this week, which I am very, very excited to do. And, you know, I think one of the things that people forget about these movies is I think people are very familiar with the Jeff Goldblum movie, right? That's the one I hear widely discussed whenever I mention these movies. It's the Jeff Goldblum version. I'm like, oh yeah, that was such a gross movie. Yada yada yada. It's the one that's played on TV the most, right? Most referenced in other movies. It's a pretty iconic movie, right? David Cronenberg, great director, but and then Fly 2 is not so much referenced, but I feel like I hear this one every once in a while. But people forget that there was a trilogy of movies before that came from this Vincent Price movie. And I think major film fans, of course, know that there's a Vincent Price version, but I feel like it is starting to get lost to time via this younger generation. In the same way that I think a lot of film fans know that Scarface is a remake, but majority of your average people probably don't. Same thing with Ocean's 11, but that's a whole different thing for me. So I not really watched this movie before. Not that I didn't want to. I really did. But I was waiting for the right time, and this being October, it is the right time to talk about some horror movies. And every horror season, I like to pump out a set of horror movies to review. So of course, I wanted to talk about The Fly, series of movies, and of course, there's no remake or a sequel or anything announced to come out later, so why not? This movie is really cool, like genuinely. I think what's great about this movie is let me tell you a little story about this movie. Basically, the people who pitched this movie, they took it to Fox, but they took it to 20th Century Fox, a division that makes these movies that are like B movies, like goofy movies, made to kind of be sillier, lower budget. They're not as meant to attach the mainstream. By the time this movie was finished, they had taken it to a bunch of 20th Century Fox executives. They loved this movie so much that they immediately went and attached this movie for a full mainline theatrical release, not under any sub-labels, under the main 20th Century Fox banner. I think that says a lot about this movie, because this movie is a very intelligent movie. It has a great screenplay. It has a lot of great performances. You got Vincent Price in here. Our main female lead, I'm forgetting her name. She is fantastic. She has a blood-curdling scream in this movie. I mean, that's the image on the front. And it definitely is the most iconic part of the movie. Especially since the actress was afraid of insects in real life. And I think that probably played into it. But, this movie is made to send up kind of the B creature features that the 50s sci-fi movement that had popularized. And they'd kind of run their course at this point. They were kind of seen as a little too much at this point. Right, this was 1958, so we're heading into the 60s sci-fi thing, which is a whole different thing. That's when Star Trek started coming in, some other things. And so when you watch this movie, it's kind of this whole different thing of send-ups to the whole creature features. So there's a lot of tropes there, but there's a lot of clever subversions there. And it was just a really great watch in that sense, because this is a movie I've never seen before. Not for not wanting to. It was on my list, but it has so much uniqueness and variety there, and I was able to have a great time and just really come to understand what a great film this is. And if you love older film, this is a great one to watch. It is just a very clever movie. It's got great characters to it too. Vincent Price's character is legitimately a well-written, fleshed out, great character. And I think that's just really fascinating. I just really appreciate how great of a film this was. If you've never seen The Fly with Vincent Price, it's kind of interesting though, This was before his like 50s, not 50s, his horror takeover in the mainstream. And this movie definitely helped him get there. But it's really not a horror movie for a good portion of the movie. And he's really not that scary in the movie. And it's kind of interesting to see him in this role. It's definitely one of his most iconic roles for a good reason. He is very good in the movie, and he works really well. So, that is The Fly. Next week, we will be talking about The Return of the Fly. What a great cover art right there. Love this Scream Factory box set, by the way. I mean, look at these. All these have great cover art. Look at that one. I think some of these are the original poster. I'm not sure, but they are fantastic. Look at this box art. Fortunately, this box set's out of print now, and you can't get it. But I was lucky enough to recognize it was going out of print and snag this one pretty quick because, trust me, 20th Century Fox is never going to put this one back into print. So